Hello and welcome to day 2 of the video marathon. My name is Sam and this is the S33 Electrical channel. Today's topic, we're talking about competing in business, so this video is going to be for all you entrepreneurs or people who one day want to be an entrepreneur. As you guys know, I'm an electrician and I compete in the electrical market here in Austin, Texas, where I live. And I don't really have a script for this video. I'm just going right off the top of my head, so I'm just going to break it down for you guys in the best way that I can to give you an idea of what it means to compete in business. Just basics, the bare bone basics is that's the way our markets are set up. We have marketplaces where we have different things, like we compete in the electrical industry, and then there's like the plumbing industry, and then different industries where different businesses are competing to bring value to a marketplace. And that's how you make money, by bringing value to that marketplace. It's a really interesting thing being in the electrical business because you get to see the different niches that are involved. For example, you can have an electrical contracting company who specializes in doing residential work, and they're systematic, organized, they know all the ins and outs of doing the residential end. They're going to be able to bring a better value to a marketplace versus a commercial contractor who is more systematic and organized doing commercial work. They're going to be able to bring a better value than the company that's doing residential work. The commercial company is going to be able to bring a better value doing commercial work. Some companies do both. Usually to me it seems like it's one or the other. Just kind of been, that's how most companies are. It's either one or the other. On a big scale, if you're doing big contracts now, there's a lot of podunk contractors like, oh, we do it all, and that's great. But basically the whole point is when you're competing in a business, you are competing in a marketplace where you're trying to bring value to that marketplace, and that's the trick to getting paid. Of course you got to be responsible with it. There's a lot of things you got to consider and account for. If you don't, you'll go out of business, and then what was it all for anyways? So you got to be smart about it, and yeah, that's what we're doing here. Whenever you're competing against a competitor, the idea is that you're going to bring a better product than your competitor by being more systematic, efficient, and organized, being able to bring a better product for cheaper. That's the way consumers work. The consumer is always looking for the best value for the dollar. So if you can bring that service or that product at a better value than the competitor, you're going to do more business. We're doing work in a tough business at the same time. So it's kind of, it's really subjective in different ways that you can look at things, but at the very core principles, this is true. You're competing with other people to bring the value to the consumer. My tip for people who are wanting to go into business or thinking about going to business is to really be smart and take the time to study and learn different things about accounting. And it's not just knowing how to do electrical work. Unfortunately, if it were, that would be wonderful, but you got to know how to do books, you got to keep records, you got to make sure that you're up on all the regulations and things that you're supposed to abide by, the federal, state, and even local laws. You got to make sure that you're complying with all that. And it's really a tough world. It truly is a dog-eat-dog world in that sense, that there's companies out there who are strictly by the book, who do everything the way they're supposed to. They're engaged with the comptroller, they're paying sales tax on commercial repairs and commercial remodels. They're withholding taxes, giving their employees W-2s, and doing everything at a higher standard. And then on the flip side, you have companies who don't really know how to do that. I don't think it's because they have bad intentions. It's more because they're illiterate to what they need to do. But then you have companies that are like, they're cheating on taxes, they're employing illegal immigrants who most of the time don't pay taxes, and you're looking at it's just hard to compete with people with another business who's not playing by the rules if you're a business and you want to be by the rules. But that shouldn't discourage you. It's just something to take a note on. You're gonna want to learn everything that you can about business and economics, and that's one big factor. But the biggest, most important thing when you're in business and you're going to be successful in business is your ability to have relationships with your people that you're doing business with. It's really hard to have a service company doing electrical. It can be done. There are plenty of them out there. But I feel like the best way to have it, if you want to have employees and you want to have a real thriving business, is to have relationships with contractors and different people who are bringing you a constant stream of work. So it's really a critical skill to be able to be personal with people and have a relationship with them to where they know you, they trust you. And whenever you get in with someone like that, with people like that, and you're giving them fair prices, they're not even going to check other people's prices, they're going to go with you. So it's true that we're living in a dog-eat-dog world, and that relationships are really important to being successful in business. As far as competing goes, I think that it's really not hard to understand. You want to be efficient, organized, and have better ways of doing things to where you can deliver a better product and a better service at a more competitive rate than the next guy who's not as organized or what have you. There's a lot of variables, like I touched on before. Some people are playing by the rules, other people aren't, and maybe they get away with it for their whole lifetime. But me personally, I'm trying to do everything by the book and as legitimately as I possibly can, because that's just something that I feel like if you're supposed to do it, you should do it, so that way you don't have to avoid the consequence of whatever it is. If you're, there's 100 things that, like, we could go over, like why it's messed up and how it's unfair, but don't let that discourage you. Just be your best person, try your best, learn, read, go online, go on YouTube. Anything that you want to know, a lot of it's on YouTube, and if it's not, it will be one day, because we're working on it. And if you have a message to share, if you think that you could do a better video on this topic, or just if you got it in you to make videos, go ahead and jump on here. It doesn't hurt. Only good can come from it. And again, at the end of the day, I'm doing these videos. It's not about me. It's really about you guys, and it's about the world we live in. I'm trying to do something because I don't want to see everything just go to trash. I want to actually live in a place where things happen, and we're living in a beautiful world. So guys, my phone's ringing, and I'm going to end this video now. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with a new video. Thank you. Bye.